Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, Neil from TechSpecs Neil. In my video today, I'll be finally doing my Q&A Monday with a few updates to finish off the video. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. I hope you like the new setup. So guys, the first question from James. These nuts. Well James, I've got an adequate response for that.
Got him! Got him!
So guys, moving on to the second question from my good mate Darren. Best budget smartphone? Well for me it's got to be clearly the Moto G. So the Moto G second generation this time round has a 5-inch 720p display with a Snapdragon processor. It's very quick and it's got a beautiful display, 720p of course. And of course this is really good. For only £150 you get a great smartphone, and that's why it's the best budget smartphone. No wonder I would recommend it to my granddad. So guys, the next question from Darren. What can Sony do to improve the PS4? And that's a very good question, Darren. Firstly, why, Sony, can't you send videos to each other on the PS4? You can send photos to each other, but you still can't have the ability to send videos. So that's one thing that needs improving. What else could Sony do to improve the PS4? Well, to improve the PS4, I think maybe a PS4 Slim. Obviously, Sony always updates the PlayStation consoles and add a slimmer version. We saw this with the PS2 and PS3, so a PS4 Slim would be great. And my third thing I would love to improve on the PS4, well that's already been addressed. We finally have a 1TB storage option for the PS4, so for all the hardcore gamers, you finally have that big option. Moving on to the next question. So another question from Darren. What 3 things would you want in the PS5? Well Darren, that's a good question. The 3 things I would want in the PS5. Well firstly, I would want 4K resolution gaming, so 4K gaming. This would be great as 4K is amazing. If you haven't seen it guys, check out a 4K in your local Currys or wherever you are. 4K is amazing. The clarity, the colours, the richness of the display. It would be great to see gaming move into the 4K gaming world, which I hope will happen, and most likely will happen. Next thing that Sony could implement into the PS5, I think the PS5 could have a brand new design. Well, it should and will probably have a brand new design. The PS4 had a great design. It was much better than the Xbox One, which just looks like a skybox. If you agree with me, put a thumbs up. If you don't, let me know in the comments. But you gotta admit, the PS4 design is surely better than the Xbox One design. And a brand new PS5 design would be great. So yeah, a brand new design for the PS5. Lastly, new features. I'm not sure what features I would like, but SharePlay is a great feature to have on the PS4, where you can connect with your friends even though they don't have the game. So maybe an expansion on that and brand new features for the PS5 would be amazing. So yeah, those are the 3 things I would love to have in the PlayStation 5. Moving on to the next question from Darren. So Darren, your 4th question. Who should Brendan Rodgers sign? 1 player. Pfft, Messi of course.
This is great banter. It really is.
No guys, but seriously, now that Sterling's gone for 49 million, that's a great bit of business for Liverpool. I wish we could buy players as well as we could sell them. But I think Royce would be an amazing signing. You may be laughing, but I think Royce may possibly be able to come. Who knows? We have been interested in Royce, but he would be a great signing. If not Royce, Lacazette. But yeah, who should Brendan Rodgers sign? 1 player, Royce. Moving on to the last question from Darren. So guys, the final question from Darren. What's your most favourite game? Well Darren, I think you know the answer. CJ! GTA San Andreas of course on the PS2. You know how much I love that from my last Q&A. In my opinion it's the best game ever made. The best GTA. Obviously GTA 5 is my favourite with its online and stuff. And them amazing graphics. But GTA San Andreas is a classic. And I can't wait to replay it in the summer. So yeah guys, GTA San Andreas, Darren, that's my most favourite game ever. So now moving on to Ash's questions. So moving on to Ash's first question, Apple iOS or Android? As you may know, I'm getting quite bored of my iPhone 5S and I'm planning on moving to the Samsung Galaxy S6. But for me, Android on phones is now taking over. iOS is still great and it's really simple to use and it's easy for any newcomers. But for me, Android is getting better. Yeah, thank you for that demonstration, Rajan. So yeah, I would say Android on the smartphone, but definitely go for iOS on iPads and stuff. but still, loads of people enjoy iOS on iPhones, and that's why iPhones sell so much. So yeah guys, in response to Ash's first question, Apple, iOS or Android, it's all about personal preference. So moving on to Ash's second question, do you have a girlfriend? Well yeah, of course, Tex-Mex and Neil's obviously got a girlfriend.
Ha ha, very funny, motherfucker.
Okay, so I totally deserve that. But no, I'm single, ready to mingle. Moving on to the next question. So moving on to Ash's third question. Do you like the Apple Watch? Well yes, I do like the Apple Watch. I currently think it's the best watch out there. Well, it has to be, hasn't it? It is Apple. But as it's a first gen product, and the reviews have been mixed, I'm not going to get one just yet. I think I might wait for the second gen, or maybe even the third gen, until I'm on board for the Apple Watch. Also, it still only requires an iPhone, and even though I've got the 5s at the moment, I'm planning on getting the S6, so yeah, things will change then, and I won't be able to use the Apple Watch. So of course, if the new Apple Watch, the second gen, they had Android compatibility, that would be great. But yeah, I'm going to skip the first gen, and I recommend you skip the first gen, guys, and look forward to the new product, the second gen from Apple. So Ashu, your fourth question, do the cinnamon challenge. Well, that's a great shout. As you may well know, I'm going to be doing challenges right throughout the summer, and that's a good shout to do the cinnamon challenge. So yeah, I might do the cinnamon challenge. Thanks for that suggestion, Ashu. Moving on to his final question from Ashu. So Ashu, your final question, iPhone 6 Plus or Samsung Galaxy Note 4? Well, that's a very good question. I personally would go with the Galaxy Note 4. This may come across as a bit of a shock to you guys, as you know. I'm a bit of an Apple fanboy. But the Galaxy Note 4, well, Samsung have experience in the phablet market, and in my opinion, they've had the best phablets for quite a few years now. Whereas with the iPhone 6 Plus, this is the first iPhone which has exceeded 4.7 inches, and this is their first real take at the phablet market. So yeah guys, with the experience that Samsung have with the Galaxy Note series, and with how successful it's been, I would say the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 rather than the iPhone 6 Plus. That's a very good question, Ashu. Moving on to Louis' questions now.